fanboys and fangirls, on today's episode we're going to take a dive into the cellular news, and we're going to start with T-Mobile 5G because we have some reports and recent news come out that shows T-Mobile does have a lead in terms of 5G spread out in the United States, but they are trailing in a few things, and we have to discuss this because there are ways that T-Mobile can improve this and how they can be more efficient in their race to 5G continuation. Also, Verizon is expanding their in-home 5G to new markets and also LTE services to sub-rural and rural America, and I'm going to explain to you the significance of that. And lastly, to top it off, we have more information on the M1X MacBook Pro, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. So story number one, the main story, T-Mobile 5G. Now, just real quickly, yes, I am wearing a cap. Don't ask why. I'm not gonna say. I'm just playing. And also, no, I'm not bald. But story number one, let's start it up with T-Mobile 5G. Now, for a while, I haven't really covered T-Mobile's 5G, and I haven't really talked a lot of cellular news in most recent memory. The only thing I did was a couple of episodes ago talking about AT&T's new data plans, but that's about it. But I haven't made one a top story in a while, so I figure, why not? So taking a look today, we do have a new indicator from Bloomberg that T-Mobile's network still lags despite their lead in 5G services. According to Bloomberg, T-Mobile has placed third among the largest wireless carriers, but seems to have gotten a move up to number 2 in regards to their lead in 5G service. So it seems that T-Mobile does have an advantage because of the merger with Sprint, that they have more area of ground to cover with 5G. They have more area to work with, and they have more room to grow. But we're going to focus on that area to grow, because according to Bloomberg, despite their plans and despite their areas of 5G intentions, they don't come in number 2 when it comes to performance. They are placed number 3. If we take a look at the overall scores based on the other two carriers of AT&T and Verizon, T-Mobile's overall speeds of a downlink are 90.3 downlink, whereas AT&T averages 95.6 and Verizon is at 96. When we take a look at reliability, T-Mobile is 90.9% reliable, which is very good. But if we look at the flip side, AT&T is about 95.9% reliable and Verizon is 96.5% reliable. And when it comes to accessibility, Verizon is with that 94.8, AT&T is 93.6, and T-Mobile 90.6. Now, real quickly, their uplink, we do see that despite T-Mobile coming in at 30.3 at an uplink, they actually are not that far off with Verizon, whereas Verizon's uplink scores are 34.4 overall average. Everything I'm giving you is overall average based on Bloomberg's numbers. And also AT&T is the number 1 at 40.9. So then continuing on, we do see that they are continuing to lead the way with their hoping to rival in 5G, of course talking about all 3 carriers now making it a priority. So now we're starting to see the shift in guard, but focusing on T-Mobile, we have to address the downlink, the reliability, and accessibility. While the numbers are not terrible, and I definitely think that they've come a long way since I've watched them with this merger, and I won't lie to you guys, I used to be a T-Mobile customer. I was not satisfied with the service that they were giving us as we switched over to Verizon, and I've been very happy. But I've never kept my eye off of T-Mobile. Now, the one thing that I think they have going for them is a strong marketing team. They have very, very good marketing. They're able to market the 5G area with them. So I think they're doing a great job on marketing. But I think what they need to do now is start investing in the network and in the towers. They have made some progress and they're continuing to make progress. But I think when it comes to reliability, I think that's the number 1 area because the network has to be reliable. I think all networks should be reliable. So I think the area of focus for T-Mobile is not just the speeds, but the reliability of the 5G connectivity. Now, we do know that they aren't focusing on millimeter wave as much. They did say they will be bringing that technology later down the road. Right now, they're focusing on ultra capacity, which is basically sub-6. So we're gonna see how T-Mobile makes their stride. But taking a look at the numbers, look, the numbers don't lie. If you're a T-Mobile customer and you're happy with the performance, that's all that matters. I'm not gonna debate here and say T-Mobile sucks. I don't think they suck anymore. I think we're past suck. Because 2 years ago, if you were to come to me, I would say absolutely. But we're here in 2021. There have been substantial amount of progress, and all carriers are working on making 5G a lot more faster and a lot more, how would you say, a lot more snappier. So the bottom line is this: T-Mobile is definitely got the advantage when it comes to connectivity, when they have the lead in the spread out, but they need to work on the speed and reliability. I prioritize reliability over speeds, so I think they have to continue building. But honestly, these are some great news for T-Mobile, and if they can continue to keep this path going, who knows, maybe I will go back. Who knows? I don't know what the future holds, but I will say we were long-term T-Mobile customers. We've been with them since, however long, at least my parents, and I've been with them since 2013. So going back to them wouldn't be a bad thing, but let's just hope that they continue to grow and they continue their network spread. And please, Mike Seaver, Eugene Yackel, please stop with the crappy marketing every day. Just please stop being so cringy. That's the word, cringy. It's not crappy marketing, cringy. Alrighty, story number 2, let's continue with Verizon 5G. Now, I've already talked about T-Mobile, so let's take a look at what Verizon is doing with their millimeter wave. And it seems they are going to expand their in-home internet to several different areas and also expanding LTE services with home internet. According to Apple Insider, very funny, Apple covering Verizon, well, more like Apple Insider, there you go. According to Apple Insider, we see that they now have new markets and new areas in play, according to, again, Apple Insider. And of course from Verizon themselves. The new market of areas are Ohio, Michigan, South Carolina, North Carolina, California, Washington, and Florida. Most notably, these areas now bring them to a total of 47 markets for 5G home internet. Taking a look also at the numbers, we do see Verizon is expanding their 4G LTE service in new suburban, urban, and rural American markets that are typically at a download speed of 25 and a peak at 50 at best. So taking all this into account, we do see that they're utilizing C-band. Now, if you remember back when they had the big auction, Verizon was the biggest bidder for C-band. Everybody sees the importance of C-band, and they're trying to utilize that in rural America, trying to get more markets and more capitals of people coming in. And I think people realize now that C-band is more important than ever. And one of the cool things about C-band, if you guys don't remember, one of the cool things is that C-band's 5G spectrum allows for these new routers and these new modems that they're using to be a lot more and higher performance. And you techie specs out there can hit me in the comments if I miss anything about C-band. This also opens up the doors with C-band firmware updates to these new Verizon routers that they're releasing, and this will allow for more peak performance. And now that the routers support C-band, you're gonna have some great performance. So overall, I think Verizon is still continuing to strive. Even though they may not have the lead as big as T-Mobile, there's no denying that their speeds are matching 5G, in my opinion, and I definitely think that they just have to continue investing. That's the one thing I like about Verizon. Yes, they do charge an arm and a leg, they probably do charge a kidney stone, but the one thing I will say is that they are investing it into their network, and that is a very good positive. And last story, the M1X MacBook Pro. Now, I haven't talked much about the MacBook Pro in a while because the rumors kind of died down. But we have a little bit more because according to a YouTuber, which again, I'm gonna call maybe BS on this, but at the same breath, I don't want to say he's wrong, so take this with a grain of salt. But according to this user, it seems that the M1X MacBook Pro is going to be featuring a UHS 2 SD card slot and will only be limited to 32 gigabytes of RAM. According to the YouTuber, he claims that the MacBook Pro is going to give a huge upgrade to video editors and photographers by allowing a SD card slot, which I think we've been hearing before, so I don't think he's wrong for saying that. So I do believe we're going to see some additional port on the MacBook Pro, this M1X version. He also goes on and says that, however, this 32 gigabytes of RAM is only going to be limited and up to whatever it can be. Now, the previous rumor said 64 gigabytes. According to this user, it seems that his track record is a little mixed. So I'm a little 50-50 on the 32 gigabyte area, but the one thing that I do think he's telling the truth on, and I do agree with, is the SD card slot. The reason is because I do believe Apple is wanting to bring back some ports. We do know that for a fact, because 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports are just not going to be enough, especially for pro users. You're marketing this to the pro level. So I think that this is a very good thing for Apple, and I'm really hoping that they bring back the SD card slot. I definitely will love the hell out of that, and I wouldn't have to worry about using, USB-C. But on the flip side though, the 32 gigabyte RAM story, that one is a little iffy for me because we have seen Apple only limit 32 gigabytes of RAM in their machines, but considering this is a pro machine, you're gonna wanna have more RAM. So I don't see Apple limiting it to only 32 gigabytes. However, I could be wrong. It could also be based on the M series chip, how much it can be capped out. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So just take these rumors with a grain of salt, and I will keep you guys updated as we go along. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. Now, guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone. I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, and peace!